Now, as we mark Mother's Day this weekend, this, we need to acknowledge, has been a very difficult time for a lot of people this year, and Mother's Day will be hard for many. This morning, we joined Sherri Zielinksi, whose mother survived that devastating wave of COVID at Orchard Villa, but still seeing the effects. Good morning to you, Sherri.
Good morning, Melanie. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. Can we begin by telling our audience here about your mom?
Sure. Last April, as you know, she was a resident at Orchard Villa. She contracted COVID and tested positive. And then shortly after, there was about a month where window visits were stopped. So we didn't see her for about a month. And then we saw her again in May. She actually survived COVID. But the difference between April and May was a huge, she had just totally lost weight and deteriorated. And it's been a battle every day since. She's basically a shell of what she is today. But we're working with her, and we're working with Orchard Villa and the PSWs to get her, as much of a comfort for the rest of her life, whatever time she has left. But she's just a shell of what she was before. But we do our best every day. And of course, this is Mother's Day weekend, which makes it extremely hard. And it's a year anniversary of a lot of things that happened at Orchard Villa. One of the other hard things is Mother's Day is usually spent with my sister and I, spending time with her. We are both essential caregivers, so only one of us can visit her at a time. So I saw her yesterday, and my sister will see her on Mother's Day, and we have to sort of split it. So, it's been a difficult year, but we take each day and are blessed that she survived COVID under the conditions that she lived in.
Sherri, thank you for sharing some of these pictures with us. And you see your mom smiling in these. And I know you were telling us earlier that these are some of the last times you've seen her smile and make the eye contact and acknowledge family members, which is, I can't even imagine what this is like for you and your family right now. You have been pushing for changes in long-term care. You've experienced it firsthand, seeing as a caregiver to your mother, this report that has come out, and there have been more than one report. The military had to go into Orchard Villa, and that's one of the locations that came in. The NDP calling for criminal charges, saying not enough was done. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. The first report that came out from the military last May was just gut-wrenching. I mean, I read the report, and what I had witnessed there was absolutely true, and I knew it, but there was no proof, and reading the report kind of hit home. The second report came in, as appalling as it is, didn't hit me as hard because I was prepared for it, but one thing that really missed the mark was the criminal charges, because we as loved ones, we drop off our loved ones in a home, just like a parent would drop off a child in school, and we expect them to be taken care of. If this happened in an elementary school, there would be charges against the teacher absolutely quickly. There are no charges, and that is a part that I think we have an issue dealing with at home in our families.
We heard from Minister Merrilee Fullerton saying, listen, we are looking to make changes moving forward. It's not going to happen overnight. Outside of criminal charges, what is at the heart of all this? What needs to be done for changes to happen now?
Well, I think one of the biggest issues that I see is the staffing issue. It has improved since last May, but I still think the homes are at a minimum standard of workers. After the military came in, I mean, there was PSWs everywhere. It was on the forefront, and I see it slowly slipping back to the way it was before, where, they're basically at a skeleton staff. They're working well, but if one person takes a mental health day or one of the PSWs or nurses are sick, then we're back to where we were last year. So I have an issue with the staffing. I think the levels are too low, and I think that there should be more staff on hand. Mm-hmm. There's several times that we go in there as families, and they're running around. I mean, they work so hard there, but if somebody's away, then they're covering for somebody else. And how can you take care of people? How can you bathe them? How can you give them, oral hygiene care, dental care, the medical care that they need? There needs to be more staff on hand is one of the biggest problems.
That is a start. We know much more needs to be done. Sherri, thank you so much for joining us and sharing so many experiences with your mom, Margaret. I know this is going to be a very difficult Mother's Day for you and your family, but please, we extend our love to you and your family. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. And the sad thing is that I'm not alone in this. There's thousands of other families going through a very similar story of mine. I'm not alone. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. All
Thank
right,
you.
7-Eleven is what we're sitting at right now. We're going to switch gears. We've got a we've got mornings that'll bring you ups and downs and all arounds, but that's what we're here for. We're going over to Dina instead.